The number one thing that you are going to want to master above aesthetics when it comes to hitting the gym is being able to function. That is going to be more important because when you are able to move and groove and get from A to B and jump, skip, dibbity dip, and lift heavy things over your shoulder, lift furniture, learn how to properly navigate your muscles and function to either get from A to B or carry stuff from A to B, the aesthetics will become a byproduct. The aesthetics will come naturally. Now, if you legit want to be perfect aesthetically and have a bodybuilder physique, that's where the bodybuilding training actually comes from. But if you're just trying to be in shape, especially if you're a beginner, I would actually say don't even focus on the bodybuilding aspect until you're able to function efficiently. Now, I have a story for my own my own personal story in regards to functionality and aesthetics. I was always a skinny guy. I was always little. I was always an ectomorph. I'm naturally right now about 175. I'm 5'11, but I was always lean and lanky, and I played the sport of football. The sport of football, there's a lot of pressure for you to put on size so you can hold your own against people that are a lot bigger. So one time when I was entering the ninth grade, now my school had a meeting that was welcoming all the eighth graders into the high school program. And I recall when we were leaving that meeting, we had came across a group of cheerleaders. Now, seeing all the bigger people, all the linemen, all the linebackers, and people that were bigger than what I was, she commented on that, and then she looked at me and I was like, "Huh, you're little, you're small. How are you going to play football? You're little." I just nodded my head, like, "All right, bet." And that moment always stuck out to me. And the ironic aspect of that, the ironic part about that is 2 years later, I ended up taking over the school and she was on my jock. Bam. But anyway, the point is the reason why I was able to separate myself and stand out on the football field wasn't because I was the biggest person in the room or the biggest person on the team or the most muscular person in general. It's because I was able to function. I was able to jump, skip, move left to right, run fast, be agile. Performance outweighs aesthetics. Unless you are entering a bodybuilding competition, you do not need to be the most aesthetic person on the planet. Your main goal should be able to function. And especially as you age and mature and get older, you are going to realize this. Now, I'm about to turn 35. I went through all that process. I went through trying to look good, trying to put on muscle mass, trying to be aesthetic. Man, at some point, you just want to be able to move. You want to be able to help people move furniture. You want to be able to change a tire. You want to be able to play with your kids if you have kids. You want to just be able to get from A to B, get up out of bed in the morning with no pain. And you just want to be able to feel good and function. That is going to be the number one priority before anything else. So that's my take on that. We can get into the aesthetics after we lay the foundation. The whole reason why I'm in shape today is because I play football at a high level and I learned how to function first before I focused on my aesthetics. Before I focused on having deltoids or biceps and triceps and a good chest and abs and things of that nature. I knew how to run fast. I knew how to jump over people to catch a football. I knew how to jump side to side and avoid tackles. So if you translate that to real life, you're really just going to want to be able to function. There's a lot of people that have trouble functioning. There's a lot of people that can't walk too long. There's a lot of people that can't run too long. There's a lot of people that can't sprint or jump. You know what they say? They say the average person past 30 never sprints again in their life. Think about that. Nobody sprints when they reach adulthood. People stop sprinting. And sprinting is one of the greatest things that you can do for your body. Now be careful. I'm not telling you just get up out of bed and start sprinting. That's how you pull a muscle. But if you're able to gradually incorporate little short 5-10 yard sprints or hill sprints into your workouts, that's going to be one of the greatest things you can do for plyometric, for muscle building, for fat loss, for all that. For function, like I said, functionality, and things of that nature, man. We don't have an aesthetic problem in society. We have first of all, a lack of muscle, along with a lack of being able to function. Now, when I say function, okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty here. What should I focus on if I want to be able to function? We're just trying to function. Hey, all right, let's get to the point. The main thing you want to do, get your hair retwisted. And then, we like to have fun here. That was a little joke. But no, strength training, compound lifts. Focus on compound lifts. The first compound lift you want to focus on are squats. The second will be lunges. Third, I would say deadlift. Just be very careful with the deadlifting. Do one at a time. Focus on the technique, which is what you want to do with all the compound lifts. Because strength training is one of the healthiest things that you can do for your body. That's how it's the fountain of youth. That's how you preserve your age and things of that nature. And then learn how to do a pull-up. Most men can't do pull-ups. Full range pull-up, a proper pull-up. Overhead press, push-ups or bench, or a row. Things that utilize multiple muscle groups at the same time. And then I would say learn how to sprint. That might take some time. Like I said, I would have to teach you and go gradual, step by step on get back into sprinting because most people, they don't run anymore. But yeah, and then doing small plyometric stuff like side to side lateral bounds and things of that nature that I'll have to show you in another video. But the number one basic thing, you want to focus on is compound lifts and strength training. And then small agility and plyometric work. We're just trying to make sure the body maintains its longevity, maintains the vitality into our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, 60s, 70s, and so on. And it's going to have to be implemented into your lifestyle. Even if it's one day out the week. Quality over quantity. If you can focus on one day out the week to perform some type of activity, a high quality over quantity activity like strength training, you'll be set for life if you continue that. Because I doubt most of us are trying to be superb or supreme athletes. We're not playing in the NFL or the NBA or in the MLB or the NHL or anything like that. Most of us are just regular people with jobs, just trying to make sure we function and age well and mature well. So calisthenics would be perfect. It's really going to depend on your own personal preference when it comes to these things. But functionality is going to be more important than your aesthetics. Don't worry about the aesthetics right now. Focus on being able to function and move and groove. And then you'll be set. And then when you master that foundation, then you can kind of nitpick on certain things aesthetically. But I'm telling you, focus on, even if you're young, focus on function, focus on performance, focus on athleticism. And then tweak the little small stuff like your chest growth and your deltoids and blah, blah. But just learn how to move and groove. Anyway, that's my TED Talk for today. I am an online personal trainer. I am a spiritual coach. I am a wellness coach. all that jazz. My links will be in the bio. Feel free to comment and ask any questions. Feel free to name something that I should discuss and talk about. Feel free to give your opinion or whatever. I appreciate you for staying here this long if you did, and I'll get at y'all later. Peace. Learn how to function. Focus on functionality, performance, and athleticism.